Hey, Steelers Nation! Welcome back to the channel, where we bring you the hottest news and updates on our beloved Pittsburgh Steelers. Before we dive into this bombshell report, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any breaking news. Let's get those likes up. Help spread the word to the entire Steelers family. Now let's talk about a major potential move that could shake up our offense in 2025. The Steelers have been named as a possible landing spot for a 7-time 1,000-yard playmaker, none other than DeAndre Hopkins. Could this finally be the big-time wide receiver signing we've been waiting for? Let's break it all down. We all know the Steelers' passing game hasn't been the same since Antonio Brown left town. Sure, we've had flashes of brilliance, but let's be honest, our wide receiver core has been lacking consistency. George Pickens is a rising star, but he needs help. Deontay Johnson is gone, and let's not even talk about the failed Mike Williams experiment in 2024. That's why Pittsburgh's front office, led by GM Omar Khan, is looking for a reliable weapon to pair with Pickens. And according to Pro Football Focus Mason Cameron, DeAndre Hopkins could be the perfect fit. Hopkins' 77.0 PFF receiving grade this season shows the 32-year-old still has good snaps left in the tank, which could draw the attention of Mike Tomlin and his staff. The Steelers may have questions at quarterback, but providing whoever ends up under center with a solid tandem on the outside in Hopkins and George Pickens would go a long way. Yes, Hopkins is coming off a down year, only 610 receiving yards in 2024. But let's not forget that he started the season in a dysfunctional Titans offense. Once he landed in Kansas City, he showed he still got it, putting up 437 yards and 4 touchdowns in just 10 games. And let's not forget, he's only a year removed from a 1,000-yard season. The Steelers desperately need a veteran presence at receiver, and Hopkins could provide just that. Not only would he take pressure off Pickens, but he could also be a mentor for him. Let's be real. Pickens has had his fair share of off-the-field issues, and learning from a veteran like Hopkins might help keep him on the right track. The good news is, yes. According to SpotRack, Hopkins is projected to land a 1-year deal worth around $15, $2 million. That's actually reasonable considering the Steelers currently have $37.3 million in cap space. Plus, Pittsburgh is always creative with structuring contracts, so this is totally within reach. The Steelers may not be in the mix for the absolute top-tier free agent receivers, but Hopkins would be an instant upgrade. If they can lock him in on a short-term deal, it would give their offense a much-needed boost while still allowing them to develop younger talent. Of course, adding a playmaker like Hopkins would be great, but who's throwing him the ball? That's where things get complicated. The Steelers still haven't decided between Russell Wilson and Justin Fields, and if Fields walks in free agency, Pittsburgh will be back in QB limbo. One team to watch in the Fields sweepstakes? The Tennessee Titans. According to PFF's Mason Cameron, Fields could be a prime target for Tennessee if they don't take a QB in the draft, with the one draft pick in hand. New Titans general manager Mike Borgonzi faces a difficult decision regarding the franchise's direction, particularly at quarterback. If Tennessee passes on drafting a signal caller, Fields could be a cost-effective option with upside. Fields wasn't perfect in Pittsburgh last season, but he showed promise. He went 4-2 as a starter, threw for 1,106 yards, 5 touchdowns, and just 1 interception, while also rushing for 289 yards and 5 scores. His dual-threat ability gives the Steelers' offense a different dynamic, and many fans believe he should be the guy moving forward. But if the Steelers aren't fully sold on Fields, they might let him walk. And if they do, Tennessee could swoop in to give him a fresh start. The trade rumors started swirling after another disappointing playoff exit for the Steelers. T.J. Watt, despite being one of the most dominant defenders in the league, still hasn't won a single playoff game in his 8-year career. Some analysts and fans started wondering, could the Steelers trade Watt to a contender and start a rebuild? Well, Art Rooney, too, answered that question loud and clear. I'd have to put it in the unlikely category. He's certainly been one of the real solid pieces we have on that defense. I think he's the kind of guy we want to have in the locker room going forward. Not only is Rooney shutting down the idea of a trade, but he also said he wants to extend Watt's contract this offseason. TJ has been one of the foundations of the defense for quite a number of years now, and we certainly hope we can have TJ here for the future beyond this year. Now, let's pause for a second. Steelers Nation. This is huge. Not only does this confirm that the team sees Watt as the cornerstone of the defense, but it also means they're willing to commit big money to keep him long-term. And guess who else thinks an extension is coming? His own brother, J.J. Watt. J.J. recently went on the Pat McAfee show and said that he fully expects his younger brother to get a new deal this offseason. He's not going into 2025 on a lame duck contract. So it looks like it's not a matter of if, but when the Steelers lock up their defensive superstar. Watt's frustration. After another playoff letdown now, let's talk about T.J. Watt himself. Even though the Steelers don't want to move on from him, Watt made it very clear that he's also committed to staying in Pittsburgh. After the wild card loss to Baltimore, he was asked about his future, and his answer should fire up Steelers fans. I want to be a Pittsburgh Steeler. You guys know that. I don't want to leave this place. I want to be part of the solution. I've put so much into it here. That's the kind of leadership you want to see from your franchise player. But despite his passion for the team, Watt wasn't happy with how things ended. He was invisible in the playoff game against Baltimore. 0 sacks, 0 tackles. Pro. Football Focus credited him with just 4 hurries and 2 missed tackles. And it wasn't just the wild card game. Watt didn't record a single sack in the last 4 games of the season. The Steelers lost all of them. So what happened? Was Watt playing hurt? Here's where things get interesting. It turns out that Watt was dealing with multiple injuries. He suffered a low ankle sprain in the Week 15 loss to the Eagles, and he also had a thumb injury that limited his ability to shed blockers. And let's be real, the Steelers coaching staff didn't do him any favors. Watt was chipped by blockers more than any other player in the NFL this season. And yet the Steelers didn't adjust their defensive scheme to help free him up. Despite all of that, Watt still had a dominant year, earning his 6th All-Pro selection and becoming a finalist for the NFL Defensive Player of the Year award. But here's the problem. Individual awards don't mean much when your team keeps losing in the playoffs. Watt himself said it best. It's tough to sit here, same time as last year, same time as it's been in this scrum, same questions, and I have the same answers. I need to play better. We need to play better. It's not one thing that needs to be fixed, it's a lot of things, but it starts internally with myself. I need to play better in bigger moments. That right there is accountability, and it's exactly why he deserves a contract extension. So, Steelers Nation, let's break it down. DeAndre Hopkins to Pittsburgh? Makes a ton of sense, especially with our wide receiver situation. He's a proven playmaker and would be an excellent mentor for Pickens. Justin Fields to the Titans? If Pittsburgh doesn't lock him down, Tennessee could make a move. That means Russell Wilson would likely be the starter for the Steelers in 2025. Now, we want to hear from you. Would you want the Steelers to sign DeAndre Hopkins? Do you think they should bring back Justin Fields or let him walk? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And before you go, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more Steelers news, updates, and analysis. Your support helps us bring you the latest buzz straight from Pittsburgh. That's it for today. See you next time, and as always, here we go, Steelers.